a diva. I'm a diva.
Welcome back. We're at it again. Welcome to Our Way. I am Shell.
And I'm Kayla.
And welcome to our podcast. Today we will be talking about, are you selfish, self-ful, or selfless? What type of personality are you? Well, for me, I am selfless. I put myself out there to help others. I put myself out to always try to help if I can help. Sometimes to a fault. But yeah, I'm selfless. What are you?
I like to think that I am self-ful. And maybe a tad selfish. I am kind of like the statement, if my cup is not full, how can I give to you? You know? I am very selfish with my time. I think we talked about that in another previous video.
Mm-hmm.
I am very selfish with my time, and I think that a lot of people should be selfish with their time. And what I mean by that is you need self-care days. And if you're not having a good day, then you ain't having a good day, you know? Or if you're busy doing something and someone calls you and says, hey, can you da-da-da-da, and you don't want to, I don't want to. I'm not saying do that in every scenario, but I am very selfish with my time. Not selfish with money. Not selfish with giving things if I can. But yeah. You don't agree?
No, ma'am.
What?
I don't agree. I think that you can be very selfish and only think about how whatever the situation is affects you, and how the situation only impacts you. I do think that, as you said before, you are very selfish with your time. You will give financially, you will do that, but I think that sometimes you can look at a situation only through your lens. And I think self-ful person kind of looks at it from both sides. A selfless person looks at it through the lens of somebody else. That's my perspective. If you guys don't agree, please let me know, and we can talk about it. But I think a selfless person looks at it through the person who's asking lens. So let's say if your car broke down, but I'm way on the other side of town, I'm looking at it through your lens, because I'm going, okay, her car broke down, she's by herself, I'm going to stop what I'm doing, I'm going to go help you. I think a selfish person will say, well, I'm over here, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, and I can't help you, I'll call somebody else. Right? And a self-ful person will say, look through it through both persons' lens, your own and the other person, and make a decision from there. So I do think that you have more moments of selfishness than self-ful, but that's just my perspective. And you know how you're seeing your situations. I can't say that I am selfless to a fault, for sure. I sacrifice myself I'm changing this. I'm fixing this. I used to sacrifice myself way more than I should have been, because it wasn't reciprocated. But I'm working on that. But I am who I am in that notion. I'm still going to help people, because that's just who I am as an individual. But I'm working on not being so available to others, because I learned. But I am who I am, and some things I just can't change. So my question to you is, do you think that your self-fulness is coming because you were pretty much an only child for 11 years? So you kind of didn't have to share with anybody. You didn't have to, sacrifice. You didn't have to give to anybody else. You was kind of just, it was just all about you for 11 years.
So are you saying...
I'm asking, do you think you're more self-ful, thinking about yourself only, because you was an only child for 11 years?
So you mean selfish?
Well, you say you're not selfish.
I know, but what you just described was selfish. Here's the thing, y'all. She's right. I was only child for a long time, and I liked being an only child. I did not ever ask my parents for a sibling, and
Nope.
so when I got siblings, I was devastated.
Yep.
For years.
Yep.
And I'm just gonna be honest about that. I was devastated for years. It just is what it is. When people ask me, you know, if I have good relationships with my siblings, I teeter on that because I think that I could be closer to them, but also I think that certain circumstances get in the way sometimes. But she's right, I was on the child for a long time. However, so for example, if she calls and says, hey, can you go pick up your sibling from school? Yes, I'm going to do it. But here's when things get tricky. And it's not just with parents or, you know, it's just a world thing, like career, friends, family. I don't know why this is, and I'm working on it within myself, and I'm getting some answers as of lately. But I'm learning that I need a lot of notice when something's going to happen. And when things change, like suddenly, it does something to me. And I know that it shouldn't, but I'm not able to handle that the proper way because I'm such a, this is what I said I was going to do, this is what you said you were going to do, this is how we do it at 5 o'clock. You know, so when something just changes, it bothers me.
We know.
Yeah, it bothers me. And I know things happen, things come up, but I am getting an answer for that as to why that happens. But it's not that I want for it to bother me. I don't. But I have realized and noticed a little bit more lately that bothers me really bad when things don't go according to plan or if I don't have a great notice of it. Especially if we're going to be around others. Because remember we said in the previous video, I don't like to be around all y'all.
But picking up your sibling from school, you're not around anyone. You're just going through the carpool lane.
I said that was fine.
Right, but okay, so let me tell it from my perspective. So when I'm in a situation, because I'm very hands-on with you all. So if I can't pick up your sibling from school, it's because I didn't really got tied up into something or stuck in traffic or something. So I'm like, oh my goodness, I gotta call Kayla. Oh my God. She's got an attitude. So I call you and I'm like, can you go pick up your sibling from school? And you like, yeah, or I guess. I'm like, never mind. I'll do it. I'll figure it out. I'll cancel whatever it is I'm doing, or I will figure this out. No worries. I'll do whatever's required. Don't worry about it. You're like, no, I'll do it. But by that time, I'm already like, she don't want to do this. I know she don't want to do it, so I'm just gonna figure it out. But
well, most of the time, it don't be because I don't want to do it. And let me tell y'all what happens. What typically happens is my mom typically calls me on a day that we all have had hectic days. Like she said, she in something longer than what she, expected. Dad is doing something he didn't expect. I'm thinking, okay, I'm about to go and do this, and I didn't schedule it. So typically when she calls, it's not necessarily actually, it's a panic. because now I got to reroute my brain on, okay, what you intended to do, you cannot do right now, and you got to wait.
Didn't know that.
That's more so what it is because I literally plan my day way ahead of time. So like tomorrow, I know I got to be at work at 8:15, and I plan on being at work from 8:15 to 3:30. If something messes that up, I'm gonna go into a panic, and depending on what it is, it's gonna piss me off. Because I already planned it. So it's a control thing, I think. And especially over my own life. I feel if you can't control nothing else, control your own life. And so I think that I have to do much better and maybe some self-work of not panicking. Because not attitude, it's more of a panic that when things don't go how they're supposed to, I just have to take care of it.
Yeah, because I get that, and I'm glad that brought some clarity, because I always be like, oh my goodness, I gotta call Kayla, and I know she's not gonna want to do it. And if there was anybody else I could call, I would, because we know she don't have attitude about it or whatever. And then he's gonna feel that you have attitude. So I'm just like, I have to text him, be like, your sister's not happy, just get in the car, don't say no. Did you know how to do that?
Well, no, but also when my siblings get in the car, we are vastly different, y'all. My sibling is more laxed and, more not on 1,000, how I typically am. And again, remember we told y'all in the previous video, I'm not very maternal. So if they get in the car, I'm like, hey, how was your day? And they tell me good, all right, it was good. Compared to a parent, they're going to be like, well, what did you do? What did you learn? I'm not. You said it was good. If there was a problem, you let me know. And I just dropped it back off at home and, say have a good day. And that's it. So it's not that I'd be mad or anything. I highly, and I think that's something that my parents are maybe starting to understand a little bit more, or if they not, they should. I highly lack parental instinct, maternal instinct, and don't get me wrong, I do work with, individuals, but I work with individuals who are in some real tough places that one could not imagine. So it's not that I show them more empathy or whatever. It's just that I know if I don't do that job correctly, their life could go one way, or the other. And I know that my sibling is very well taken care of. He got $300 pair of shoes on his feet. I mean,
But he can have all that and still have unempathetic parents. That's not his case. But
that's not y'all.
That's because I'm very empathetic.
Yes.
Non-empathetic.
They are the most loving family that I know.
As if she's not a part of this family. Did you hear that? They're the most hugging family.
I don't entertain that. I can't. But that's what I'm saying is, yes, nice shoes, clothes, things like that, but also very well taken care of. Want and need for nothing. That's what I'm saying. So it's just different. But when it comes to time, I just like for things to go how I intended them to go. That's all. And it's more of like a panic when things don't. So like, for example, meeting my friends. They are always late. Always. And I have cussed them out plenty of times. And so now you know what I do? I get late. And I don't know nobody gonna be mad. And they say, oh, we're gonna do 5, that may mean 5:45. So
That
I don't
would
get
not
my
work for me. That would not work for me. Be on time. That drives me crazy. Be on time. Don't have me sitting waiting as if my time is not valuable. Be on time. Dang on it. I just think that selfishness, I completely understand that I completely understand self-ful and making sure you're good, and then you can lend yourself. I totally get that. But when you're full and you still can't lend yourself and you selfish, that's when selfish comes in for me. Selfish, I can't understand selfish on no level. None. I have no patience for it. I have no understanding for it. And I got a lot of patience and a lot of understanding for a lot of things. But selfish is not one of them. Because I pray to heaven that there's never a time where a selfish person needs someone else and don't get it. And they really, really need it. Because of the things that they've done, have not done for others. So that's where I come from with you. I be like, I pray that you don't ever get yourself in a situation where you really do need somebody, but because you are, from my perspective, have been selfish, nobody's willing to help. So that's why I say we have to open up ourselves to others, because you never know. You never ever know what hand you're going to be dealt. And if you dealt a crappy hand one time and you need some help.
Well, I think when it comes to y'all, meaning my family, they call me on a regular day, regular week, because I ain't been living a regular life lately. So on a regular day, a regular, life, even though my dad may not want to, my mom maybe will sometimes, and say, hey, can you do this for us? Or, hey, can we do it? And I always say yes.
Yeah. You say yes, but it's like there's an undertone.
What you mean?
It's like an undertone, like it's the way you say yes. You have gotten much better as of late. Let's say the last, how long you been out of this last schooling you went to? How long you been out of that?
3 months.
Okay. So the last 3 months, you have done exceedingly well with the way you say yes. It doesn't make you feel like it doesn't make you feel like you really want to say no, but you feel kind of obligated to say yes because we're your parents. As before, it kind of felt like, yeah, all right, whatever you want, if that's what you need. Real like, I don't really want to help you, but I'm gonna help you.
With money?
No, period. We're not talking about money. We're talking about like time and things like that.
Well, I just told the folks when it comes to my time.
Right.
I'm saying if you need something as far as money, groceries, shoes, clothes, I'm like, yeah.
But we're not talking about that because you've already said you're open to that stuff.
Yeah.
Financially. But we're talking about your time.
Well, that's something that is I'm just going to be honest with y'all and them. And that's something that's going to take a very long time.
Right. So we're not talking about the things that you've already spoke on that you're open to. We're talking about time. Like if I'm calling you saying your sibling, I can't get to him on time, that means you have to use your time to go get him. So that's what we're talking about, your time. We're not talking about finances or nothing like that. We're talking about your time. And sometimes time is all a person really wants from another person.
And that's hard for me because I love
sleeping.
No. Even when I'm not sleeping, I love being in my house by myself, with my fur baby. I like in my room. That is my safe space, and I could be there all day, every day. So sometimes when I got to come out, I don't want to. But if my sibling needs to be picked up, I'm gonna go.
Right, but what I'm saying is that you may not want to come out, but you also let the other person who's asking know that you don't want to come out, and that makes the other person feel bad for even asking you. It's like, dang, am I a burden?
Well, I just said a lot of times it be panic. It's not because I don't want to.
Right, but then But that's a little contradictory because you just said that that's my safe space. Sometimes I just want to be in my space.
Okay, well, let me clear it up.
Yeah, so that's a little contradictory.
Aside from picking the sibling up, for example, if my mother calls me and says, hey, we ain't seen you in 3 days, come over. I'm like, I don't want to. And I may not come for 4 more days. That's what I'm saying.
I don't agree with that.
Well, okay.
Just saying. I don't agree with that at all.
Okay.
Because I think that what happens is that you get into that dungeon, as we call it, because you know that's what we call it, your dungeon. You get into that dungeon and you act like nobody else exists in the world. But the world is still moving. The world is still going strong. Life is still happening outside that dungeon. You need to come out and get some sunshine.
But that's where, you have to separate yourself and say, well, if she's happy, because that's all you want for your child to be is happy, right? If she's happy, because guess what? Me being in my room don't affect you going to get no ice cream.
No, of course not.
It don't affect what you do for your day.
Of course not. But
So-
that's not to say I don't respect what you do because I give you 7 days.
I know, and I hope that if I need 14, you give me 14.
Why I got no choice?
So what's the
I have no
problem?
choice. The problem is, and I'm not the only one to have told you this,
What?
that you should not be in that dungeon for that long.
I know, and I hear them, y'all. Don't get me wrong, I hear them. But I have to do what's best for me in that time. So if that means I need to be in my house by myself when I don't have any other obligations,
But this is what I'm gonna say. She gonna do what she gonna do. And I'm just gonna pray for her. Because that's all I can do as a mom. Is pray for her in that dungeon with that little dog.
I mean, even my dog like it at this point. I be like, you ready to go get in bed? She won, and she tell me she want her heating pad, and we be in there watching Lifetime movies. I think that's when I honestly have the best time.
Alone with the dog. Y'all chime in. Please chime in. And please, let's talk about it.
Hey, not too much on me now. But y'all let us know what y'all like to do, and if your parent or guardian or whatever doesn't agree with your choice, whether it be you outside too much or you inside too much, whatever. Y'all let us know.
Let us know if you're selfish, self-ful, or selfless. Let us know where you stand on the topic. Leave your comments below. Click like, click share, and subscribe. Subscribe. I can't say it no more. Subscribe. But when you see us on the streets, what are you going to say? Hey, girl, hey. Bye.
I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a diva. I'm a